Pisces.
Pisces, this is your forecast for July 2015, and the month starts off here with a beautiful big full moon, and it is going to be 9 degrees there in the sign of Capricorn, and this is just triggering off what is going to be happening the rest of the month. Now, this full moon is going to be illuminating your whole area of social activity, hopes and dreams, spending time with your friends, any kind of networking, social networking that you're going to have with any group or organization can become very, very powerful here this month, because within those first few hours of this full moon, it is going to touch upon Pluto. Pluto does a lot of things in a big way, right? It's a small little planet that has a subtle energy, but then again, it's extremely powerful. It could, in fact, indicate totally new beginnings, a rebirth of something. So that being said, here on the 1st, we have a kiss from Cosmos coming into you, which is Venus and Jupiter. They're doing the dance. It happens one day every year. This is the day that it's falling on here in 2015. And in the area, excuse me, for you in the sign of Leo, in the area of your 6th house, and I feel that this gift from above has or holds the potential to change up your day-to-day routine, freeing you up some way, somehow. And it could come through the means of love, which Venus represents, and anything that Jupiter touches, it expands it with abundance. But Venus also represents money. So if you're waiting for any kind of financing or funds, well, then this could be the day that it's just going to rip open that door for you in a beautiful Jupiterian way. Therefore, it could come to change up your day-to-day routine and how you work. Now, to add to it, on the 1st, we have the Sun, which is the essence of you. This is now in your 5th house for creativity, self-expression, children, and also the work or the businesses that you have, projects, creative projects. It is touching upon Neptune, your ruler, here with a trine. And Neptune for you is your 1st house. So Neptune has been working on your personality here now for quite a time. And it's you now wanting to, should I say, bring in those higher entities, that higher spiritual self, so that you can embody it, bring it out to the world through that personality of yours. And the Sun here is now with a trine on this very same day that Venus is having this kiss with Jupiter, and where the full moon is touching upon Pluto. So wow, what a way to start your month. Now let's move on to the 2nd of July, because here we have a couple of days with news. One bit of news after the other, more like a domino game. The first one is Mercury bringing you some insight from Uranus. Uranus is in your 2nd house of money and income. So when we have good aspects, there's a wow factor, something that's surprising. One thing is that you maybe already received news on the 1st, but on the 2nd, it's like it's really going to dawn on you how good this actually is. So there could be a job offer, there could be a project coming up, there could be a gift of some sorts, but it's allowing you now to really shunt in. And having Uranus transiting through your 2nd house, you'll come to see over these next few years, where it's still going to be there at least another, I believe another 5 or 6 years. There's times when Uranus will want to shake things up, like from one day to another, with that unexpected wow factor, where there will be plenty, and then there's times where there might not be, when Uranus will undergo stressful aspects. So if you're getting something now, always be sure to put something aside. And I think that most you Pisces have learned that financial lesson. On the 4th, though, Mercury again with good news. It's coming now in with a sextile from Jupiter. So once again, I'm feeling that this is between the area of your day-to-day routine, your health, how you interact with those you work with. And then Mercury is in the 4th house currently, which has to do with your foundation, how you see yourself on the inside, your past, your value systems from the past, but it's also family and where and how you live, property, real estate. So here, there's some message coming in very early with some positive news. Maybe you're going to secure a piece of property. Maybe there's other things coming in. Maybe you're going to start changing up your routine of how you work. If you work at home, just because Jupiter is expanding the way your daily schedule is going to be looking. And so you'll have to see what it means for you. It all depends what's in your natal chart, of course. On the 5th, not only did you have great news on the 4th with Mercury, Jupiter, but now Mercury is bringing you more love, more Venus coming in here. So again, love, romance, or money and security on the 5th. And so on the 6th, the Sun is going to be opposing Pluto. Time for integration. This integration for you is going to be between where you're at here in your own creative projects, your self-expression, the businesses that you own, or your expression and, should I say, togetherness with your children, and the 11th house of social activity, hopes, dreams, and groups, and so forth. So you'll come to see how this is going to come together. It doesn't have to be either or. You might have felt there has been a sense maybe of separation for a while, but the integration of it is that it doesn't have to be either or, but it could be both. So very interesting day on the 6th, quite intense too, perhaps, just because you're going to be feeling these things very, very deeply. On the 8th, Mars is currently in your 5th house. So you're using your energies as far as wanting to get ahead, to express talent, skills. But I'm also seeing a whole lot more time being focused and shared with your children if you have them. If not, it could be other younger individuals in the family. I feel there's such joy in all of this because you're there interacting with them interacting with you. So it's a blessing. And it feels specifically like a blessing. Why? Because this Mars now is trailing off on Neptune, which is your vision. What has been your hopes and dreams thus far, meaning what you have been trying to visualize into manifestation. Well, Mars is the manifestation. Mars is the action of those hopes and dreams. So come to see here, this whole first week of July is just beautiful. I see you feeling really, really happy, but then it's time to get down to work. So it's like vacation time over from the 10th through the 15th. Here we go. There is some communication between Mercury and Neptune. Might be a little bit foggy, all right? So if Mercury is not just communication. You might misinterpret, misunderstand, or somebody might misinterpret, misunderstand you. However, Mercury is also documents, papers. So if anything of that order needs to be looked into at this point, make sure you go through the fine print. Mercury being in the 4th house, so it has to do either with family members, or property. So it could be leases or contracts. Make sure that you know what you're doing right here, right now. On the 13th, the Sun is squaring off on Uranus, and Uranus is currently in your 2nd house for money. There might be something, I feel, maybe it could be a transfer of money between you and perhaps a child, because it's the 2nd and the 5th house, or for you, between you and some creative project, perhaps, that you're working on. When the square is there, there could be a little hiccup in the system. Just make sure that you're on top of it, paying attention, because you've been airy-fairy, having a great time the first half of the month. It takes time to kind of come back down and focus, right? On the 14th, well, here we go. There's another test, which is Venus. Love, romance. Venus here in that 6th house, it's squaring off on Saturn. Saturn's in the 9th house. It's moved back into that 9th house. For a while, you've had it in your 10th house for career from December till now, but it is retrograde. So this might have to do with either a situation or a person. It could be between countries, because the 9th house is foreign people and places. Again, it could have with contracts to do, justice to do. So here there might be a balancing of sorts. And I think it's going to come to head here on the 15th, where Mars is going to kick into action. Mars is a little feisty here on the 15th. It's opposing from the 5th to the 11th house. So where Pluto is wanting to give you, or where you're wanting to give someone the benefit of a new beginning, which Pluto represents, Mars is giving that. It's initiating it. However, it's also about integrating, because if we don't think integration, then we have separation. Then that's when we invite to power struggles. Mars is going that way, and Pluto's going that way. And it doesn't have to be either or. We're not talking about right or wrong, which can create that separation. Find the midpoint, integration. It's about both areas needing to come together. It's your hope, your dream, your actions, your creativity. Maybe it's between a group, and maybe it's between a child or children. Mars is men. So there might just be a little something, but I think you might have already had a little sense of what this could be earlier in the month when the Sun was opposing this very same degree. So the Sun had a taste on the 6th. Go back and think, how did that feel? Then you know what you can expect more of on the 15th, when Mars is actually going to come in and take action, okay? It's going to be good. On the 18th, Venus is moving out of the playful area of Leo, where it loves to be, because it just loves to hang back and have fun, sip a margarita and so forth. But now it's moving into Virgo. It's time to focus on the details, and communication is going to be important. Virgos are really good about thinking things through, and sometimes they can overthink. But it's moving into your 7th house. So you're out of the 6th into the 7th on the 18th, and you'll have it there for a little bit. But then on the 25th, it's going to retrograde. So it's not going to hang around in your 7th house for love and relationships too long. It's going to go back in and work and spend some more time, giving you an additional time to look at how you can perfect more so your schedules of how you want your day-to-day routine to look like in the future. So be happy for that. Whenever we can, strip something out of and away from our daily routine, it opens up new room, more time to do more of those things that we love to do. So it's all working for you. Now on the 21st, the Sun and Saturn are going to be in harmony. So whatever you were kind of balancing there on the 14th, when Venus and Saturn were having this little run in trying to secure something, well, on the 21st, I feel that you're going to have that all together, and you're going to be achieving the sense of security, happiness, groundedness, and satisfaction of the security that you now have laid as a new foundation. It's going to be a year before you get this trine here next time. Now on the 25th, though, there might be a little abrupt situation coming out of the blue. Mars and Uranus squaring off on each other. So there could be something that needs to be adjusted. Maybe you've created some plans for something to happen at a certain time, and then an unexpected situation may come up. So it's all about flexibility, so we don't get frustrated on that day. So besides that, I will just want to mention that Venus is going to turn retrograde on the 25th. So that's going to give you extra time. Uranus too is going to turn retrograde here this month on the 26th. So it's going to give you a little breather here because you've been pushing and pushing and pushing for the financial aspect in your life, but now you can take a rest. At least another 4 or 5 months where it's going to go to sleep. You're going to be happy with what you have, dealing with what you have before you're going to start pushing again. It's like taking vacation, especially because Uranus is in your second house for money and income, and this is where you have been very focused for a long time now. So before I want to end, I just want to say we got those 3 moons this month, which happens so seldomly. We got 2 full moons, we got that new moon. So I did mention July 1st, that's the first full moon. It's going to be 9 degrees here in Capricorn, which for you will be in that 11th house for spending time with friends. It's that social aspect of you. This will be illuminated. And then we have the new moon on the 15th, which is going to be in your, I gotta look at, my mind is a little tired here. It is in the 5th house for creativity and joy and self-expression. So this is the time to put down your intentions, to write that abundance check, and also to tell yourself that, you know, hey, I want more of this fun time in my life. Not just work, work, work. The 5th house is all about hanging loose, doing those things we love to do when we have time to do it. So you're going to make more room for yourself to have this kind of fun. Now in the future, it's going to be a whole year before you get to place intentions in this area. It's also how you relate with your children. Maybe the intentions will be, I want more time now spent with my children. That's a great intention to have. Then the very last day of the month, on the 31st, we have the second full moon of this month, which is going to be 7 degrees in Aquarius, which for you, Pisces, will end up in your 12th house. So that area is going to be illuminated. It's your house. It's what you rule, that 12th area. And so for you, you're going to just feel that you just want to pull back. Have a day at the spa, or, you know, go meditate, go listen to some beautiful music, or go paint a picture or something, because you're going to feel utterly inspired here on July 31st. So then that's going to set the scene up for August. I will see you then, and that's a whole new chapter that we will talk about when we get there. Have a good one now.